Guys, it's Hank. I figured I'd make this video because I like to prove that I'm a capable economist and a capable futurist. And I just wanted to make this video to prove that I can address what will happen in an economic collapse. And a lot of people say, okay, what is an economic collapse? But I think at this point everybody knows that an economic collapse is imminent, and I could always address those issues as to why it's imminent. But more importantly, I'm going to address what happens after the economic collapse happens and what it means to you specifically if you're either a millennial or you're a baby boomer. So those are the two parties that I'm going to address in the economic collapse, which is imminent. And I can't explain why, but I won't in this video. But I'll explain what's going to happen afterwards. The first thing that's going to happen is there's going to be a stock or a bond market implosion. And that's going to be triggered because we already know that the algorithms have essentially taken over the stock and bond markets, which used to be regulated by people with good sense. That could invest, and now it's all about shaving a little bit here and there, and an ETF or gaining slivers of a fraction off of multiple trades in nanoseconds. It really only has to do with financialization and money making, and it has very little to do with what the actual value of a good is, a good or labor or service or so on and so forth. So, all right. Assuming the bond and the stock markets collapse, what happens right after that? That's what most people are not addressing. There's going to be a bust in pensions, Social Security, and all paper contracts. Why is there going to be a bust in pensions? Pensions are all funded on the growth and the gains that are created through a healthy stock market. That's what's kept the pensions going today. And most pensions are still bankrupt because the states and other entities, teachers unions, Teamsters unions, any of the unions, corporations, local governments, not so much corporations in this instance, but local governments, they've way overextended all of their balance sheets on the back of a millennial group that simply cannot afford to keep up with the Joneses, if you will. We can't afford to carry all that debt into the future. We can't saddle that burden coupled with student debt, coupled with credit card debt, coupled with all of the government debt. Absolutely untenable. So pensions go bust because the states are bankrupt, and all of it was predicated on a functioning bond market, which has delivered absolutely no yields anyway, a functioning interest rate on anything that was kind of like an insurance contract, which hasn't worked in a long time because interest rates have been so low. So they pumped it all into the stock market, and the stock market, when that snaps, because everybody realizes it's overvalued, 25 to 1 or 30 to 1, way beyond what it was even in the Great Depression, pensions, they have no funding anymore. So all the pensions, they're already going bust. They're going to be gone. So the old people are not going to be able to get any money at all from their pensions. So it's, maybe 2/3 or bare minimum 1/3 of their income coming in. And you always ask why. Why am I a young guy? Why am I working so hard? And old people just run around like they got all the fucking money in the world. Well, they're getting a hell of a lot of transfer payments for doing nothing. Well, they earned their piece. They just didn't preserve it in hard assets, and they always thought it would be there for them. Big fucking mistake. They'll see that soon. Next thing, Social Security. Social Security might not keep pace with hyperinflation. Social Security contracts are going to kind of grind to a halt as far as any kind of social services contracts, Social Security, EBTs, welfare. None of that shit will probably keep pace with hyperinflation. that might come along. We're already seeing a hell of a lot of inflation. Even 3 years ago, I could buy a bag of rice, a 20-pound bag of rice, for probably about $6.99. Today, it's 11 plus, maybe 11.70, something like that, 11.79. So, you know, last year, that's $3 in a year. It's a hell of a lot more than 4%. So don't fuck me around about inflation. I know what it really is. So Social Security, that shit's just not going to be able to keep up. And God forbid fuel prices ever go up, because fuel prices will directly impact the cost of food at the grocery store. So while Social Security payments might stay the same, if the federal government decides to keep printing bills and keep paying that same dividend, the expenses and the cost of living will continue to go up. There will be no COLA for Social Security. There will be no cost of living adjustment for that. I definitely would think this is just in the realm of speculation that, you know, all the other welfare programs will be terminated for the biggest voting block there is. That's the elderly people, and they're going to want to conserve their Social Security. So I see that being a major problem. All the little facets of it I can't figure out yet, but I know that inflation will be definitely an issue for that. Next thing, paper contracts. Paper contracts being their own stock holdings, okay? Stock holdings sometimes will pay dividends. You know, if you've got a good stock, you know, in a power company, you'll get dividends from it. And they'll pay you a little bit of cash over time. You know, you get a little bit of profit sharing. Now, if the company itself is not making any money and the stock value drops big time and you can't sell it, and the company itself is not making any money, the dividend payments are going to shrink, and the paper contracts, you're not going to be able to sell for anything. So what happens? What happens? It triggers an inability to live off those transfer payments. Elderly people cannot live off of those transfer payments anymore. They need to get food. They need to get heat. They need to get their lawns cut. They need to get their prescription drugs. They need to get a lot of other things that come along with being elderly that they've been, oh, you know, tipping you $2 or whatever for their fucking coffee, you know, right? $1 maybe for their whole meal, depending on how cheap they are. Everybody knows in my generation how fucking irritating it can be to watch these dickheads roll around in their cars, Mercedes and BMWs and all kinds of shit, and leave you a fucking dollar tip or something. So we get that. And they will not have an ability to live off those transfer payments anymore that they've been living so nicely off of for so long, that irritate the millennials so much, because they make us feel like, oh yeah, you don't know shit, you're a fucking snowflake and you're a fucking asshole and you're there to serve them and your time is never, the greatest generation was us, man. Fuck you. You're going to realize how much it hurts to be that fucking stupid and to piss on your youth that much. So, your transfer payments, fucking done. Fucking done. So, what does that do? It's going to be 2008 type style credit freeze, right? 2008 style credit freeze. What's going to happen after that? They can't borrow. They can't buy enough to live. What do they have? That's their primary asset. Their real estate, their homes, their holdings, their property holdings. If you didn't save, you have to sell. You have to sell something. And if the credit markets are frozen, you can't borrow. You can't fucking borrow anything. You can't borrow anything to buy. So, you got to sell your primary asset. What is that? Real estate. Real estate will tumble. Real estate will tumble because the elderly people will need money to live. They will need money to live. They will be downsizing into apartments. The apartments that you live in today will be populated by the elderly of the future. They will. They will. I assure you, unless they've been very smart about gathering some hard assets, or they could trade you a little bit of silver or something else good to maintain their standard of living, their jewelry or whatever else they have. Some real hard assets that you can wrap your head around and you can hold, because we don't give a shit if they worked for some fucking shitty corporation for 60 years that gave us nothing but fucking bullshit, garbage, and Chinese fucking imports and sold us down the river. We don't give a flying fuck about them anymore. Let me be clear about that. So, they need the money. The sinking property values are going to cause an absolute selling frenzy. Once it starts kicking off and people start seeing that their property values have to drop, and they have to get rid of them because they need $1 million, $2 million to survive for the rest of their lives because they can't work anymore. Either that or they don't want to. where they have to go back. And already so many of our elderly are working at grocery stores and all kinds of other shit. It is a messy, messy fucking situation for them. For real. But they're sinking property values. Boom! Fucking selling. It's a frenzy. It's a fucking feeding frenzy. Sell, 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 sell. Already into oversaturated markets. In my particular area alone, Sarasota, I can go on, I look. There are over 3,000 open properties for sale right now. What the fuck? They can't sell them. Now, an economist, which is essentially a parrot that only learns two words, supply and demand, will say to you, supply and demand, supply and demand. Supply and demand would mean that since the supply is high, the price would come down. Because there's no fucking demand, because the inventory is there. So that's the problem with modern economics. They don't fucking get it. Their models are antiquated. They don't make any sense. That's what's kind of gotten them into this mess so far. Mathematically, it does work out, but in the real world, fucking doesn't. So the property markets slide into an already saturated market. Who can buy them? Only a few very, very careful millennials will be able to afford that. Only because they didn't accumulate a lot of debt. But see, that is not the case for most millennials. Most millennials have, 100,000, 150,000, something like that in student debt, which our dear leader, Hussein Barack Obama, decided to make an unforgivable debt, student debt. Now, I don't hold any student debt. When I went to business school and I realized it was going to cost me, I was going to have to borrow money to go to business school, my good business sense told me to leave business school. So I didn't have to fucking pay compound interest. It was amazing. It was a college lesson, life lesson in college about how college was trying to screw me. So I think I've been pretty clear about this. And as a millennial, where you can position yourself and what we can do as millennials to position ourselves in the future legislatively. And I am screaming debt jubilee, debt jubilee, debt jubilee, and no more war, no more fucking wars, and a debt jubilee. And we'll have them by the balls. It's been Hank. Catch you guys on the flip side.